All right, welcome. This is Arkham. We're going to start out our usual routine of grabbing mail. And I'm thinking that we're going to refill our bags quite easily. I got accepted into a Deadmines group very quickly, actually. Being a mage, you will, because the priests always want water. And so, especially from like the higher level, when you have the better water. But I have been in groups where they brought you in and then you give water to everybody and they kick you. So it does happen. It's very rare, but it does happen. We were blessed with 3 brand new players at this game. The warrior and I kind of have a feel for what we're doing. The healer of this one, Camille, was very good. I believe that healer was experienced. Right now we're doing is, and I'll get into that later. I'm tangenting right now just because there's a lot of running around. We're finishing the quests involving grabbing the miner's cards and the pendant. I believe it was a pendant. The warrior was nice enough to do that for everybody. I'm pretty sure that the warrior had already done it. Had run this several times. I think he was farming some gear. Not sure how or why. I mean, if you are a warrior and you're going to dual wield low level dungeons, you can do it. It's not hard. You gotta remember you've got low level healers. You're gonna take a bit of damage. You're gonna get crunched. But you just gotta pay attention to their mana, and you need to pay attention to whether or not they know what they're doing. Because low level healing is very difficult if you don't know to use your low level spells. You will run out of mana in 2 casts and then everybody's dead. So you need to use low level spells. And Camille's Camille, I don't know how to say this healer's name, Camille, but their mana never depletes. They do quite well actually in this. It was just something that we ran into. This is a celebratory run, let me tell you. This is the first group I tried to get into, and I wasn't about to let it fall apart because it's very hard to do, especially a group that's willing to do these quests right here. You can do these on your own, but you've got to really you can not really. You need to spread it. There's too many mobs in here. You need to have a group. So if you get into a group and you don't need these, just remember there are people who will. Help them out. Get them in there. For some reason, I'm not removing curses. Not necessary, really. Just enjoy. I'll play with the volume a little bit here as we go. I was just really excited for this run because we had 2 brand new players who knew nothing about the game. They were just learning it all as they went. They stuck it out. That was Lips Durango and Piome, I want to say. They were great. They were asking questions, and I will always answer questions. I've loved teaching people how to play this game. When WoW Family Time started up and I was helping, I wasn't really helping. I was just sort of joining on and giving him whatever help he needed. Basically was just moderating for him on Twitch, but I told him one of the things that I would like to focus on is new players, because if we don't have new players, then what's the point? And the problem with retail is new players get choked out real easy, real quick. The garbage comes through and people don't have the patience or the time to teach others how to. And you don't have time in the game. Here you actually have time to learn how to play your tune. Retail, you don't. You're running Mythics day 2. I mean, it's that bad almost. And that's pretty much all you'll need. You'll just need to clear that whole hallway to get everything done. Here we were waiting on Can't remember, but I left this part in here for one reason. I'm a vending machine. That's the mage. She did not have enough room in her bags. Clear your bags before you do any dungeon run. You'll love yourself for doing so. I mean, it's so frustrating when you see a nice piece of gear or something that's useful drop, and you have to ditch something else that's kind of useful to do so. So the healer and I are kind of chatting right now, like, oh, we need to do this or that. She's clearing bags out, I'm assuming. So, but so when I try again, she states I can only take one. So maybe they only needed one. That could very well have been it. Like I said, a smart priest that's geared. This is a decently geared priest. Could do a lot of good mana conservation. And here we go. Luckily, these guys evaded because they would have smoked me. Remember, if you're going to run a two-handed tank, pay attention to your healer, pay attention to your pools, and make sure your healer knows what they're doing. You need to be able to keep them together so that the little bit of AoE we do have at this level can be effective. If you pull aggro as DPS, do not run away. The number one thing for people that when they are in dungeons, they'll hit hard. The tank will have, tapped the mob a couple of times. They won't have hit very much. And you'll pull aggro. Or if you're a mage, you'll do one fireball and pull aggro. Do not run away from the tank. Run to the tank. If you've got to hold the mob, I would Frost Nova a mob that's on me, like this one right here. There you go. I'm Frost Novaing him. I'm backing up. I'm backing up right here so the tank can get healed because he's about to die. That's another thing you can just do. You can throw ice traps and whatnot just to keep a tank alive who's got a big pull. This was a big pull. And I don't think he meant to pull this big. I think they had some pats. Those overseers might have been patrolling. But do not run away from the tank. The tank needs to get aggro. So if I pull, a mob's coming after me, I'm going straight to the tank. And I will stay near that tank. I will Frost Nova near that tank or do whatever so the tank can pick up the mob. Very important. And you have to sort of break that idea of kiting the mob around. And again, I'm doing this with 116 slaughter that I received from that, I think it was a priest that was handing them out, and rest are all 6 slot bags, so I'm trying to be conservative there. And I've already got them, probably a third of the way full just by getting in the dungeon. Another big pull, but these are not elites. I'm going to Frost Nova here so he can get away. He's going to back off. He's probably going to Naru. And the healer, like I said, the healer has mana. Tank has health. The rogue has health. I've pulled a mob here. He's not elite, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to burn through and drop him. The warrior, I think, was grateful for the Novas. There's just little things that you pick up running through dungeons and wiping. I will say this. If my memory serves, and I believe I am correct, I did not die in this dungeon run. And I can edit it that way so it looks like it too. So, alright, first boss. Normally for this, you would want to pull the boss out or just put a skull on the ads. Anytime you're on a boss, what do? You kill the ads. Always kill the ads. These are non-elite, so they should not last. The warrior jumped in on this. We don't have mana. So tanks, please pay attention to your blue bars. Your blue bars are very important. That hunter is useless to you without mana. He's going to be up there with a sword swinging it. Your priest can't do nothing for you without mana. Me, I'm wanding, that kind of thing. the one mob is dead, so I can leave this other one up. I don't need to resheep him. We're just gonna burn him down, and then cut through. Again, it's not a big deal, but if you've got newer players, they're gonna get frustrated. So if you are a new player and the tank is pulling, see how I'm drinking right now? That's what you do, especially if you're a healer. When you're a healer, the moment the fighting stops, drop. What I will do in retail, because you need to, I would run up to this door right as the boss was about to die as a healer. And when the boss dies, I'm going to drink at this door. That way I've got view of everything that's going on. I'm already in range. And if I need to, like say, Camille, this healer is phenomenal. He had 0 issues. I've pulled a little mob there. I just stay in the area. The tank just clips and picks him right back up. We get a big pull here because of a runner. Runner brings 1, and then we maybe it's the next pull. Again, if you're gonna pull like that, warrior or tanks, I'm sorry, you gotta let your dudes drink. Let everybody drink. We're all tapped. And I can see that this is what frustrates Camille. Trying to wand, me and the priest will both be wanding here just to conserve mana. Here he does pull out. We should have all been in this tunnel. All of us should have come in here. The reason we struggle is those pats that come right there. We should have all come down into the tunnel. And I did not ping for that. I wasn't really thinking. And I should have pinged for it. Again, new players, they're not going to know. They're just sort of following the tank. Oh, did we lose Pelmy here? Wow, she is barely hanging on. Oh, we lost her there. Okay, this is where it gets hairy. I'm trying to make a decision. I'm going to pick something and I'm going to kill it. Right now, all of us should have just ran. Camille wasn't really moving, so I don't know if she'd already decided. I took too long to run. And what have I said when we're leveling? When it's the stuns that are the worst. But you don't have to kill the mob. What do you have to do? Make it run away. A lot of times when you're dying, remember, you do not have to kill that mob. You just need to make it turn and run away. I got lucky there. That was dead. Alright, so we lost our healer. This is going to happen. This is going to happen a lot. It's a bit frustrating. So if the tank had a shield, yes, they would have more stamina. They'd have a little bit more. I don't think he's got any kind of shield blocking stuff at this level, so it's not really a big deal. We recruited another healer. That's the Woods. Woods was brand new, so now we have 3 brand new players. So our tank needs to realize that. I did not pick up on it. I didn't want to be like the kind of person asking, hey, do you know how to heal? That was just kind of a jerk thing to me. So I wanted to watch him and just see how his mana does before I, whisper him, say, hey, do you know to use low level heals or whatnot? Which Woods was super chill when I did ask him. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a great idea kind of concept. He really didn't, if you don't know if somebody doesn't tell you, right? It's not fun to come into a run either when like 2 bosses are dead. I'm not sure how far. I think we only have 1 boss dead here. Is our rogue auto running? What happened there? Did she log out? Must have been an herb over there. She was skinning, I think? No. I think she was herb. We discussed trades with him. So the hunter, he was like, how can you... I gave him a silver node. I was like, hey, go ahead and tap that silver node. I think I cut this part out because it was when we were waiting to pick up the new healer. And he's like, I can't do that. My mining is only level 5. And I'm like, oh, these videos are just for you, buddy. 'Cause I was like, oh, yeah, you got to work on that one. And silver sells very well. I have no idea why I'm throwing a fireball and not one. Oh, the hunter. That's right. Hunters can always pick off stragglers. They're faster at it than I am. So the hunter and the rogue were brand new to the game. They just did awesome. They did a really good job. I'm not caring at all about damage meters. That's not a thing. This is not a level 60 content. That's nothing to me. You can share quests, and I forgot to. That was something that I normally do at the beginning. I don't know if I said this or not. If you do, get into a group. When you get together, start sharing quests before the dungeon begins. I kind of messed up. Here, I, as a tank, love to pull out. I like to bring them to the door. You can see these dudes are awful. 4 of them are terrible. They also have, I think they're engineers that are throughout, and they'll do a stun. So they'll knock the tank around. So here I have this one on me. I'm just going to pull towards the tank. Quick Nova. Look at George's mana. He's at 50%. He's already hurting. I'm not running away from the tank. The tank will pick him up. Like I said, this was a good tank. He was a very good tank. He knew what he was doing, and I mean, he survived a lot of good hits. Gift of Naru is great as a warrior. I never thought about that. Like, my warriors also was whatever that race is now. The Space Goat is what I've always known them as, but now he's a Holy Space Goat. I changed him to that one because I love the AoE pull that they have. There's their racial. You pop it on a pack and it'll pull the whole pack to you, and it's really nice. But Gifts to Naru is like a free potion. So, but if you look, George is out of mana. Our last healer never really went that, he never went that far in mana. We got so much gear for our rogue. It was so nice to do. I'm not sure if the hunter got any or not. It's always nice when you can take people into a dungeon like this and they can pull. He needs to pull back out because the boss, but I think he stays in there. You need to pull down at least towards the door. You always just want to, because you don't know who's in your group is going to butt pull. You might get a mage who's dumb and blinks. If he's a higher level mage, he'll blink across the room to get away from a mob. And now he's going to be pulling stuff that are going to pat into him. So when you're tanking, you want to think about what's safest for the pull for a group. Because the groups are going to look at bars. They're going to point and click stuff, and they're going to look at health bars. I did not put enough drink in my glass for... I may have to go get more water here soon. Apparently I love doors. Yeah, I'm trying to get the tank to slow down a bit because I'm noticing the healer's mana. Again, a hunter without mana is frustrated. Because 90% of what he's doing is, mana based, so. I'll go ahead and turn this up a little bit more, I think. Oh, George had asked for mana potions earlier, but I didn't have any, and I picked one up, so. I wonder if George Woods is his real name. That would be cool. I will be leveling Arkham Ridge soon. I'm holding off on him. Normally my paladins are always Arkham, and my warriors are always Waymaker, but I did not get Waymaker this time around. So I might just use Arkham as a warrior. I just don't know. Paladins are wonderful, but they're kind of boring. Like, they're just autopilot. This boss here, you're going to save some mana. Okay? You're going to crush the Shredder. But you need to have enough mana. So I'm wanding now just to save a bit of mana for when Sneed comes out. He kind of gets knocked out a bit, and you walk over to him and you beat on him. I'm greeting everything here. I don't need anything here. The quests are what I'm after. because I'm going to replace it pretty soon. I'll keep that staff for a little while. Actually, it'll be a good one. So, okay, we lose our warrior. We lose our warrior a little bit because the heals weren't there. And I'm wondering if, in talking with George, he may have just been a little confused on what was going to happen. So, but we lose our warrior completely, and so we wait a little bit. He's trying to res somebody who's not in a group. He can't do that. So I don't leave a group without talking to the group. I'm not frustration, rage quit kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to be looking for a new party member. I'm leaving this part of the video in here for a reason. You'll see in a second. The number one killer in the Deadmines is a big one because of the Pats, but patrollers, Pats are the number one killer in dungeons, and I know they're coming, but I'm not really paying attention, and I will end up pinging everybody. So I'm like, oh yeah, they're coming, because the Fias set is a big set, and the Pats that come through here have the belt and boots, I think, and the gloves. And they're a rare drop. One of them is a really rare drop. And so people farm these patrol that come through here. There's like 4 to 6 of them. So they're coming. I'm not paying enough attention. Now I'm going to ping. And I was like, oh, wait, I think they come all the way through. So I was going the wrong way. And here we got to talk. We got to talk a lot. I did not help George out with his heals because I wasn't paying too much attention while we were in game. But this one been a good time. But those Pats, like I say, they have just straight up slaughtered me. But again, those Pats have also made me gold. We did get a new warrior, and we ran outside to go get him. But in doing so, one of the players kind of ran up to loot something and pulled the Pats. Low level runs, it's good to have a warlock sometimes. Not low level, but mid level. So a lot of people run with a mage and a warlock for the 2 reasons of a summons and water. There's no point in that. I have a quest that gives me a better... Alright, Cookie's the one that I wanted. I'm sorry. Again, Hunter for the tank. Hunter with a pet tank. It was great. We ran outside. The warrior pretty much had beat us to it. He was met us halfway, so we didn't have to summon him. And I was asking if he wanted us just to reset dungeon since he's missing on the first 2 bosses, but he did not. This was a fun run. We had a blast. From here on out, we had an absolute blast. We had some very scary pulls. We had some Pats that kind of ran in. The warrior here was good. He knew what he was doing, but I don't know that he knew the dungeon or the pulls as well. I feel like he was fine. He knew the route. He knew where he was going. If you're a warrior, you need to get your hands on a bow or a gun, just a gray gun that you pick up while questing. Hold on to it. Learn shooting or learn whatever the bow is. Go to the masters for that. I don't even know who does. I haven't had one in so long. I've only had one hunt. Well, I've had a couple hunters, but my hunter became my bank tune, my lead bank tune. And anyway, they're a fun class. There's just a lot of maintenance in the lower expansions. Big pull. Remember, mages will destroy a plate wearer. They'll destroy a tank. So this caster right here will annihilate a tank. You've got to kill casters first. A warrior is going to have no problem with melee classes. He'll be okay. He'll be able to sit through it. But magic will chew right through him. So I always tell people, I tried to mark, and I haven't hotkeyed my marks yet, and I need to do that. I wasn't planning on like taking over a dungeon run or anything. I didn't want to be that person. But I'll just hotkey a skull on people or a moon. If I'm gonna sheep something, I'll put a moon up. This is a straggler of some sorts. Now, one thing that I do want to that I did notice about our healer, I offered the healer water. I can't remember if I gave the healer water. I may have because I had it. Obviously, I'm going to give it to any healer in the dungeon. You see how he's studying gear and running around at half mana? He should have been around that corner. Grab the loot. It's going to be on your board. You can look at it as you go, but you need to be drinking. And he's not drinking. So as a healer, remember, you want to be at full mana as much as you can. If you have a mage, you tell that mage you want to fill up your bags with water, and you're going to drink every pull. Is this the one with the cannon? No, the next one. Look at this one you open. Like I said, he did fine. He did a great job. I'm just, to make his life easier, we stop later on, and I'll show you that part, but we'll have him pull out low-level heals. So when I'm on my priest, I have, like, at this level, I would have level 1 heals on my bars, and then I would have a max level heal on my bar, and then maybe a couple of mid-grade ones that I know are really handy, like a hot, just to kind of help out. Here, okay, so if you have mining and it's low level, I told Lips, I was like, hey, make sure you're smelting your ore, and he's like, oh, I thought I had to have blacksmithing for that. Like I said, it's so refreshing to have new characters, new players. It's like the greatest thing ever. I will spend hours tell them everything that I can about the game, and I'm not the smartest person at all. I play the game differently because I've done it so many times. I have 75. I'm not quite cracking latte alts, but I have quite a few alts because I only play Alliance, but I wanted the Horde mounts and some of the achievements that the Horde have. So I did have tunes for that reason. Okay, right there, I pulled that goblin. I ran right to the tank. I locked that mob down. Tank picks him up, no problem. He's got aggro. That's your job as a DPS. Do not run down the hallway and make your tank leave the area that he is pulling mobs together in just to pick up, you know. Me as a tank, I'd kind of let you die. I'd be like, hey, I'm over here, buddy. I'm not going to risk the whole group dying. You know, we can res you. And if you die, don't release. Get a res. If it's a wipe like it was earlier, then then go ahead. Slow pulls here. Make sure that the goblins that are running away. Oh, I had a scare here. My heart sank real quick here, y'all. I hope we can see it. I forgot all about it. Sorry, I'm drinking, eating as I'm watching because it's late at night. I was very excited to do this video, so I cranked out like 4 videos to get to this one. I had a pool, and I just went ahead and dumped the whole pool of videos just to get to this one. All right, George, good job. Woods is on the ground. That's what you want. This is the worst part about vanilla. It really is. When you're a rogue or a warrior, you're like, why? Right there, I almost wiped the whole group. Now, I would have stayed down there and died and just had them come and res me. But I don't know if the mobs would have kept going, because in vanilla, they were vile. They were vicious. I think the mobs would have just kept going after the group. But I literally was messing around and was like, whoa, I almost jumped off. These guys will pull out a little robot dude. So tanks, make sure you pick that robot up. It is an elite. We luckily had a hunter who picked him up. I'm going to pull off of a cat, of course, but the cat will pick him back up. If you can stun that goblin, I'm looking around. Of course, as a mage, it is your responsibility. You have a long-ranged stop, so to speak. If I'm able to, I will. Oh, she was bandaging. What? That's interesting. Big chaos pull here because we allowed a lot of the robots to come to life. Just got to get them to the tank. The tank will pick them up. Guard did a great job here. He held everything. He kept his health up. He's got good rage. He's doing fine. Your tanks need to be get beat on, so that bubble as a low level, for low level dungeons, I would not put a bubble on a warrior or a druid. They need to get beat. They need to get hit to build rage. I don't, and I did not mention that to George. I should have. So that bubble right there is keeping the warrior from getting rage, and rage is how he spends his abilities. That's his mana basically, and so we want to keep that bubble off of him so he can get hit. Only put it on him when he's about to die, when he's taking like detrimental hits, and you want to keep him alive so you can pop a heal. So I would pop a bubble on him, get a big heal on him, and then move on. So priest, keep your bubbles to a minimum on paladins are no problem, but on druids and on warriors. If you're using a shaman tank, put it on your shaman tank like every second you can. But I don't know that shamans are tanking very much high level stuff. I'd love to see if they are. Good shaman can do very decent job with a proper healer. I really wish they had given shamans a tanking class, because it'll be a totem tank. So I mained shaman for years. I mained shaman for when TBC came out. It was Negaduck, my mage, my gnome mage, who was my very first tune. He was my PvPer. It was Fall Apart, my druid, and then Nevea, my shaman. Nevea is still like my top go-to to this day. I love playing a shaman. Shaman healing is the funnest thing on the planet. Like, it is so entertaining. You have a huge toolkit. You got so many options. You got so much available to you. It's a little bit harder in TBC though. I do not recommend your food. I don't know if you can level. You might be able to level a shaman as your first tune, but I do not recommend it. Don't. The totem quests are awful. Having to place your totems all the time are awful. It gets better down the road, but I don't recommend it as your first tune. Like I always tell people, roll a mage. It's rough. It teaches you a lot, but you're useful. The food and water is a big deal, but the portals are huge. The fact that you can bounce all over the planet is just massive. I was deciding if I should I should have put a sheep on him to keep that robot from popping. That was my error. I screwed up right there. If I threw a sheep on him, then that would have been fine. And I don't know what the cooldown is on that. I don't know how many they can make. All right, we pulled. So we had a runner. We pulled. It is not a big deal. So our rogue is just cleaning house. And our warrior is keeping up with the stragglers. He shot at him. I should have been the one to fire blast him. It should have been me killing him. But again, there's no struggle here. George is doing fine. I love the name George Woods. I think it's such a cool name. George is keeping up. He's got more mana than I do. Our warrior is full health. I mean, we're doing great. Smooth run. We had a blast. I had a blast. The three new players had a great time. It's frustrating tanking. If you're tanking with a group that makes you work a whole lot harder, it can be frustrating. So your job as DPS is to make your tank's life easier and to keep your healer alive. That's my number one. As a mage, my number one thing is keeping my healer alive, because I can sheep and frost nova stuff so my healer can get away. So these are like just weird things that you kind of pick up and deal with as you're playing. If I am a mage, I'm normally standing near the healer or in view of the healer. If something is picking on the healer, like throwing whatever, I'm going to sheep that. I'm going to poly that mob until the warrior can get to it, because obviously it's a ranged deal, so the warrior's going to have to use a taunt on it, which is a waste. Or if they're running after it, because healers will gain grab aggro from healing for big heals. I'll frost nova, and that healer will be able to run away. And hopefully that healer will run to the tank. I'm bragging about how cool I was back in the day for my epic mount. I ran Deadmines 8,000 times. I swear, I ran it so much just to get that mount. I was determined. It took me so long. And nobody was doing it. Like, nobody even thought of it, because it just wasn't a thing back then. You really didn't. you did quests to get gold and you did bits and pieces. The auction house wasn't a people didn't use it. I never bought anything from the auction house. It was just like when you were in vanilla, if I needed something, I leveled a tune and that tune made whatever I needed. That was my thing. I have so many alts just because if I needed something. Okay, so that mob right there, that's fallen, it's got loot on it. That mob is very close to another group of mobs. They're buried. Sometimes there's a treasure chest down in there too. They're buried. So I'm looking at it right now. I should have put a skull on him, just to show George that he was there. And I just don't think George has been here before. I think honestly, Lips, Pilme, and George, I think this is their first time here, which was super cool. We did a lot of chatting because in vanilla you talk to each other. In retail you just scream. One person screams and rage quits. I loathe what retail has become. I have a great group of friends, people I absolutely adore, real life friends and friends I have made. I have friends who I'm very close to who have gotten married by playing this game, met each other in the game, met up in real life and got married, been married for years, have kids together, that kind of thing. I've got a husband and wife team that one plays retail and one plays classic. They sit right next to each other every night. It's really interesting. She can't stand retail either, which I loved retail for a long time. I made wonderful friends, got a great group of friends to run tens with, to run my mythics with, and then I quit. And it's funny because I had farmed Invincible, which is the Lich King's mount. I had farmed Invincible for years. I have an insane amount of kills on him. And I always said when I get Invincible, I could finally retire from the game and quit playing. Because I was pretty sure that he was never going to drop. And he finally dropped for me. And 2 weeks later, I did quit. It wasn't because of Invincible, but I was like, it's enough. It's enough to do. My favorite mount in the game. And I was like, oh, I got it. I think I used it once and then quit my account. We're on the boss here. I put a skull up. When you're on the boss, please, please, please kill the ads. Do not tunnel boss. The ads will melt a tank. I'm putting a fireball on the boss and I'm going back to the ad. And again, these guys may not know Skull is, kill that ad first. Good gear for the rogue. I hope the rogue can use those. Of course, I guess the hunter could too, but they were together, so he's probably going to give them over to her. Having crappy water at a dungeon is the worst. I should have bought milk. That was my mistake. I normally don't do that. I don't buy out of the auction house, and when I'm a mage, I don't buy my own water. For some reason, I chose to try a flame strike on 2 people, and was like, oh, there's not more. Flame strike is your AOE is for 3 or more. I'll put a fireball on 2 mobs and start frostbolting one down. And flame strike uses a ton of mana. It's a huge chunk of mana. So, and a lot of times the tank will pull those mobs out of your burn, so it's kind of wasted. Like all the time as a tank would try to keep my mob pulls over my blizzard. I do not have a way to CC these mobs to hold on to them, so I'm just bringing them back to the tank. Our tank has a ton of health. He's doing fine. He's grabbing great aggro. This is a nobody mob. I can handle him. I just don't have mana, so. Again, these are I'm pretty sure these were the pats that were coming up, because there's a set of pats for every hallway. So, and they drop really good gear. I'm hoping our rogue got decked out or our hunter got decked out. Okay, George, you got to drink. Drink, drink, drink. I had to kind of throw a chat to him, like, hey, George, do you need water? I didn't want to be a jerk or anything. I wasn't trying to be mean. I'm like, hey, George, do I need to give you water? No, yeah, I did, right? Like, remember, and again, you won't think about it. He's just regenning. He's probably like, oh. I mean, he might be watching TV on another screen, you know, who knows? There he is. So here's where I'm talking with a hunter, and I'm like, hey, as I knew he was a miner. I'd seen him grab stuff, so I was like, hey, go ahead and grab that. And then he was like, oh, I can't. Oh, I'm sorry. This was the warrior. The warrior was like, hey, do you want to roll out? And I was like, no, you can go ahead and take it. I got one earlier, so. Because they sell for a good amount. That'll pay for some repair bills for him. When people say, you know, tap the node, don't worry about that. We spent a good chunk of time talking about trades, and I wasn't going to make a trade video because there's so much out there. But if this picks up and somebody actually does watch this channel for some reason, if, you know, people put requests. I'm really bad at comments because I have so much stuff. If I'm not doing this, I'm in the wood shop. I'm doing a million other things. I've got 3D printer that I run constantly to try and do prints with. I don't buy gifts. I paint them. I'm cheap. And of course, then I work full time also. I'm trying to do Overwatch videos with the kids. So when my kids come over, we try to put videos together for them too. The last few we've done have been absolutely terrible. So we're working on it. And then we have a podcast, of course, as well that we do with that I do with family. So these were, I believe, Pats that they could. I wasn't in the area of the blasting powder, but somebody may have grabbed the blasting powder. There's in that little cove over on the right is a barrel you have to pick up, and then you use that to put in the cannon to open the door. But they didn't all pull. They pulled now, of course, but they didn't all pull at that time. Again, that mage is who I'm after. That wizard. Because that'll eat through my tank. This is a big pull. George still has plenty of mana. He's good to heal. Excuse me, he's good to heal. Just remember, healers, get your low-level heals out, and just top your tanks off. You can throw hots on like a mage. You can throw a hot on a mage, because he's not going to take a ton of damage. He might get hit, and the tank will pick that mob back up. Throw a quick, easy, simple, low mana hot on the mage and the warlock, whichever one. The warlock would have cookies. He can use lock rocks, but you don't need to be spending mana on your range DPS. So yeah, you pick up blasting powder, then you put it in that cannon. You just click on it when it's in your bags, and it'll blast the door open. There's a big mob pool, so make sure you got mana. So if it gets to the point where there's only a few mobs up, I will wand just to conserve mana so that I'm not drinking as long as if I was empty. It won't take as long to drink, and that really does help the rest of the group out. But as a mage, I have no problem sitting in the back line drinking while everybody runs forward and kills stuff. So. I always like to pull back, so I'm glad the warrior was pulling back. I just like to have a good clear view of what's going on, make sure nobody's butt pulling. Got a pack coming in, not a big deal. We're going to pull 3 instead of 5. That's what we want. Perfect. Beautifully done. Don't jump off these sides. It takes forever to get back. And several of these little rock formations have goblins on them. And they'll just murder you. They'll hurt you bad. So my hunters picked them up. Again, you're fine as a healer to sit and drink. You're completely fine. I've always recommended you just try and get ahead of the group or get to an area mid-range of it. But your tank had plenty of health. You're good there. So as a healer, just mana is important. Nobody's taking severe damage. You're good. I should have given water to the hunter. I kind of feel bad now. I should have actually offered water to them. Of course, he probably has better water. Real simple, small pools. We've got a boss up ahead. Boss is just a 3-level, 3-tier boss with ads. So we need to make sure that for this boss, you want to focus those ads. Because this boss will, and I'll show you, I think, I don't know if we get them down before or not. We'll see. I'll show you the 3, I can't think of the word right now, 3-level. We're still talking about trades, apparently. They didn't, like, she did not, I say she, but, well, they were dating, so it could very well be 50% chance it's a she, but she stated that they were, didn't know that they could do leatherworking without skinning. And I said, you can if you can afford it, but you can do any of the trades. So if you want to do a leatherworking and herbalism, that's fine, because herbalism will pay for leatherworking. You'll be able to buy the leather off the auction house if you're willing to pay the price. What I would do is just have one tune that's just leatherworking and herbalism, and now you've got an alchemist and a leather. Excuse me, I would do leatherworking and alchemy and skinning on a character, and then your main character can be whatever you want, and you can use leatherworking and alchemy or whatever. So if you're doing herbs on another tune, which I always recommend druids for herb farming and skinning. Do old content, old dungeon runs and whatever that would have a lot of beasts in them that you can skin. A lot of those in the Barrens. Trying to get... he's got a low-level fort. I think I'm not certain. But I was messing up because I was noticing fort wasn't on anybody. A lot of times priests at low levels, they won't do that. They won't put fort on everybody. They'll just put it on the tank and themselves, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just didn't see it on the warrior, and that was my fault. I was like, I was just trying to, like, hey, you know, you have fort. He didn't know what fort was. The warrior didn't know what fort was. He was asking what that was, so we were just explaining stuff to him. That's kind of what took place there. Killing the ads. We want to get these ads down. You'll see why here in a second. I didn't put a skull on them, I guess. I should have. I need to hotkey my skulls. Okay, they are down. Right here. A lot of times people will focus boss. You'll get him to that 59% mark. When he hits that, he stuns everybody, and the ads just start beating on people. You got to get those ads down for that reason. Once again, he swaps weaps. Oh, I put an amplify on him that reduces, increases healing on him. There's too much of a mix of damage dealing in here, so I had to do that. I did that for that one boss, and I did not tell him to take it off. I should have told him to take it off. Amplify magic means you're going to get a bigger hit of magic, but also you're going to get a bigger hit of heals. So on a melee boss like that, Amplify magic is wonderful because he's not casting any magic, so you're not taking any extra damage from that. And your healer gets a good kick of a good boost of healing increase. So up here at the top is kind of when we start talking about talents. We start talking about using lower level spells. And the warrior actually was like, yeah, I'll wait for you to swap out spells. And we kind of, I was just tapping stuff. Here I'm explaining the stand buff. But it's just nice having new players. It really is. And I should have asked if anybody was new. I should have said, hey, if you're new, just whisper me. And we can set you up before we get into this. So whoever gave me that potion, I just noticed it. Whoever gave me that potion like 7 levels ago, I'm using it now. I like to pull back to here because I can never remember if the Murlocs and the Goblins pat in this area. So we had a good small pull here. It was perfect. Commending the hunter for he never broke a single one of my sheep. So that's great. And normally I will stay if I target an NPC and I sheep it, I'll hold on to that for any DPS to just throw something that way because they're targeting everybody. They're not going to mean to break a poly. Nobody wants to break a poly, but I'll just hold on to that target and I'll re-sheep it if I have to. But this hunter didn't. I don't think he broke a single one of my polys. And George might just be, like I said, brand new to it and younger. He's trying to keep people. There's nothing more nerve-wracking than healing. It's absolutely aggravating at low levels, and especially in vanilla. He expressed, "Hey, I'm doing the best I can." Or like, "You're doing fine. I'm just trying to make your life." I was trying to make his life easier, basically, and this is how you do it. You don't use your high-level spells, and so that's the thing. You don't want to. Especially for a healer and a tank, you just don't want to make them feel like they're not doing a job. There's no job. We're all here. We're all making it happen. I'm teaching them how to find his low-level spells here. And the warrior's like, hey, I'll wait. Don't worry about it. And so he, we're doing smaller pools here. I'm going to wand pool for the warrior because he doesn't have a gun. But here he's like, hey, go ahead. I'll wait for it. And I didn't tell him to stop putting, to not put the shield on the warrior. That was something to come later. So that click show all spell ranks is what I was looking for because I couldn't remember what it was called. So back in this era, a mage would use a level 1 frost spell in PvP to destroy a shaman's totem because they had like very little health, like 5 health or something. And that's why they did away with this, was because you could moonfire, level 1 moonfire in PvP would destroy a totem. And that was a big deal. Shamans were just getting wrecked, and the priest, or excuse me, the boomkin or the mage were not spending mana at all because it cost no mana. You'd regen that mana in a heartbeat. So you could spam moonfires and ice lances all day, level 1 ice lances, just to kill, instantly kill totems, and a shaman was useless. And so that was something that they had fixed. But back in it, you could bring in low level spells, which you needed to as a healer. Honestly, healers had to do so. Like, his mana significantly improves, I believe, from here. And that's just kind of the game. That's how it's done. So here I think I end up pulling for the warrior. So like I say, if you're a warrior, just learn the bow or the gun. Find a gray one. You don't need it. Down the road, you'll get guns that have like stamina on them. They started kind of thinking of warriors and giving them weapons that they could actually benefit from. If you get too close to these docks, to the sides of them on either side, like the boat, you can pull mobs, and so that's kind of what happened. They have a weird aggro. This is just slow pulling. That's all we're doing right now, slow pulling. We've got 3 more bosses to go. We're not quite there yet. This is a longer video, I know, but it's a great walkthrough. And the sad part is I did all these in like 2016. I have walkthroughs of all of these from way back in the day, and I never posted any of them. I have a torrent walkthrough of Wailing Caverns, and I have one where I'm the healer and one where I'm the tank. And I think it's the same druid. I don't know. I leveled a horde tune so I can get an easier Wailing Caverns run, I think is why. Not a fan of the horde just because of the environments are ugly. I don't like it. I started playing this game because of my brother. They were horde, and they wanted to see what Night Elf looked like when they saw the forests and all the woods and all. They're like, this is way prettier. Like, if I'm going to spend hours playing this game, I'm going to do it in somewhere that looks good. And so, yeah, they were leveling Night Elves. And when I started, and I grabbed a gnome mage, because I was like, let me see what a mage does. And I fell in love with it and stuck with it. Mob comes up the back end. Like I said, it's going to happen. It's not a big deal. We're just going to pull them together. I've got one on me. I can Frost Nova and jump down. There you go. See? Calling my own shots. This was a long run, but it was so worth it. I've got all but one quest completed right now. We'll complete it with the last boss. I should have needed on those boots, actually. Mine are gray. I should have bought those stamina boots that I was looking at. I have to go back and get those. I wanted to make sure she was getting a Defias gear. And she only, it looks like she got maybe I think 1 or 2 pieces. And oh, she's got a gold jewel crafter in there. She's got some rings on If there's a chest or a node, anything that other groups members can use, you'll typically roll on them. Let's just hit enter, backslash, and then ROLL, and you'll do a random roll within that, and it'll whoever has the highest number will get that. So normally, if you'd be a chest, you would roll on the chest. Whoever wins it would get in there and get it. For this, since if there's any items in there, since we're in a group like this, they'll all be able to roll on it. Anita agreed, so I opened the chest. I don't think I took anything out of it. I think I just activated the roll on the item in the chest. And sometimes they're great. Sometimes you'll get into one and there's actually a really high level item in there, a really nice one. Oh, hold shift and then right click on it and you won't loot it. I'll just pop it open. So now everybody gets to roll. Oh, there's a gun in there. I should have given him that gun. He wouldn't have. He probably wouldn't have it trained, and he wouldn't have. Well, he could have maybe borrowed bullets from the hunter. That warrior needed a gun to pull with, and so I did. I cannot believe I didn't notice that gun in there. Okay, you want to pull down here. You don't want to be up top, because if you're too close to the ship, you will pull the green meanie. The next boss is the green goblin dude that runs around. He just pats around the top of the ship. If you're standing where my cursor just was, if you're up in that area, you will pull him, and he will pull that entire platform with him. And he's got 2 mobs with him as well. And the priest got a... so you kind of want to hug like that. And I'm just going to pull... You want to stay over here. So if you're too far over to that right, you will pull him. And it's an instant wipe if you do. This is smooth, clean, great run, awesome tanking. The tank realized when he had a stray, and so, you know, tank's got an 8-second cooldown, I believe, on his taunt. I don't know if it's changed or what. No, that's pretty much what it is. And then, so you'll just have to wait it out. Be near him so he can taunt. Don't be out of range. Don't make him run after you because he's got mobs that he's holding on to. And you'll have a smooth run. If you die, just die. Not a big deal. Don't run away and die. Die close. They'll finish it up and they'll res you. I'm typing too much. I need to quit talking. You just get in there and play. Get in there and kill stuff. What's wrong with you? I couldn't tell if they were actually casters, and so, like, if I pull aggro on a caster, you will run far away to pull them. Obviously, you know that from questing. If it's a caster, they're going to stand. That's the green meanie. That's who we want. Green skin is, he's got a big aggro range on this boat. I pulled him before, that's how I know. Just letting everybody man up, and we're going to go in and do stuff. I'm trying to pull him this way, but I should have just ran over there, jumped up there. Sometimes you just gotta wait for the patrols. You can't run off in the retail area because they block the areas up. But this is super easy. He doesn't do anything great, anything drastic. You just wanna murder them ads. Spank an ad and you'll keep your tank alive. A dwarf rogue is super powerful. I've always made my rogues night elves for shadow meld, but a dwarf rogue is really powerful. It's absolutely absurd how strong they are. Alright, now we're on Greenie, which is pretty much dead. And that's a great piece right there. Again, that's great for a rogue and it's great for a hunter. At that level, I think as a warrior, I'd probably take it too. It's going to help with threat, but I wouldn't take it from 2 leather wearers. I'm just manning up and going. Smooth run. Absolutely enjoyed it. I've got no buffs. Oh yeah, that's right. Our healer wasn't. I think he's just not wanting to waste good water. I should have traded him some. I think my brain just wasn't working right. And again, I've got no buffs, which means George has no buffs. So I'm just a trash talker. I'm a useless mage. What a piece of garbage gnome you are. I wasn't certain if my rogue was stealthing because I wasn't sure if she was doing it per pull, so I put that in there. But she was. I was just being stupid. I should have paid attention. I was kind of worried. I was like, oh no, she's not going to stealth, but she's fine. She knows what she's doing. Everybody had fun. They all had a good time. Job got done. Poor Van Cleef. Stormwind just did him dirty. Oof, that's a big crit. Stormwind said, nope. We know you rebuilt the place, but we're not going to pay you. On retail, you fight his daughter. He's already dead in retail. It's Cataclysm, I think. That they did that. Yeah, he summoned 2 and I didn't pay attention. It was my fault. I should have been paying attention. Again, George's man is doing well. It's a big pull, a long pull. He's doing fine. I think he's getting a feel for it now. Warrior has tons of health. Nobody's in any danger. Read you down a mana. And make sure you loot the boss in every dungeon. You'll forget. You'll have a quest item there and you'll forget all about it. I needed his head. I wasn't looking for gear in this run. I did want the wand if it dropped, but I didn't care if I didn't get it because I know there's a better one. So everybody's pretty pleased with themselves. They all were like very excited they'd finished the dungeon, and I mentioned that there was one more boss, and they're like, "Oh, really?" So we drop down the side there. Now, it gets a little hairy here. George does not have mana. I have mentioned that we're not done, I believe. I put a skull on him. I really need to hotkey these. I don't know what I'm thinking. Like, I have the macros in retail. I need to just pull them over. I should look them back up or something. I always drop down backwards because you don't go as far out. So you'll kind of drop a little more towards what you're aiming for. You notice the difference? It's great for when you're, descending cliffs and you're not a mage, because mages can slow fall. I'm not going to use my racial here because nobody's attacking me. I'm saving it for, a real time. Goblin patrols, no big deal. This gets hairy. Garth is hurting. George is hurting on mana because we haven't gotten to the boss yet. I'm trying to get everybody pulled to the bridge about 15 seconds too late. He is, the warrior knew. The warrior did it right. But we pulled Cookie anyways. Gotta get those ads down. Putting a fireball on Cookie, and I'm swapping to the ad. Alright, Garth goes down here. George has no mana. No big deal. We got a cat. Kitty tank. No, George doesn't have any mana, but if you can heal the tank, the kitty. I think Lips put his heal on him, the hunter heal on him. Lips has got aggro. Nope, I have aggro. So now I'm just going to kite, let him get... I had to put my shield on because I was too dumb to not have it. Went ahead potted. Potions are made. Alchemy, people. Alchemy is wonderful. I need to do it. We're out of mana. We're out of everything. We're tapped. Our hunter's the only one with mana. Got poisons on my rogue and my hunter, so my rogue can't... I don't think she's got vanish at this level. Rule number 1, make him run. How many times has that worked for us? Make him run. Hopefully, thank God he didn't run over here to the right, because there's a full group of mobs over there. That would have been awful. Gonna burn him. Got 2 members dead. I'm gonna kite him until I get mana. Do a flip for blast wave and drop him. And his rod dropped. And that's the run. That's it. I'm using a 15 damage wand. That's a 22 damage wand, so that's a big, big, big jump. I'm going to go ahead and eat on that. Even though a priest would use it more, but the priest can eat as well, and we can always run again. I don't remember. I think I got it, though. Again, it was just a fun run, guys. It was great. They were asking me questions. I thought I had all this hidden from chat. That's my fault. Looks dumb when I'm sitting there talking to people. I wasn't going to run these videos live. I was going to have a pool. I was going to get about 10 of them in the bank and then have 5 or 6 of them extra that I just dump, because there's 1,000 how-to videos out there, and they're good ones, really good ones. But a lot of them are experienced. They're people that are saying, this is what I experienced playing the game. Other than Icosiel, who has videos, I mean, there's a lot of videos that teach you how to do stuff, but like Icosiel's fishing videos are kind of where I realized, okay, yeah, there's great content out there that teaches you stuff. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can just do walkthroughs with people and say, this is what I did. This is where I died. This is why I died. This is how dumb I was for dying. Because you've seen me die 50 times, which is weird because I don't think I died that many times. When I originally played, I didn't even know what I was doing. Sorry, we're just chatting. We're just talking. Everybody's pretty happy. They were, Lips and Priomi were very excited to be there because they were grinding. You grind and grind to get to this point, and so nobody's going to take you unless you're at least 17. I was 18 when we started. I hit 20 after I handed in all the quests. I got 4 completed quests. We're going to run out and hand all those in. 3 of them are in Ironforge. 1 of them is in Westfall. I don't know why I must have not noticed we were chatting so much. My apologies. We're a very talkative group. We had like I said, it was great that, this used to be a social game. This was a very social game. You remembered people. You talked with people, because that was the group I was telling you. If he'd run over that way, we would have been in big trouble. You talked with people and remembered who they were. You paid attention to what other people needed. If you're with them, if you found what they needed, you'd whisper them like, hey, this is that thing you were looking for, I think, and that kind of stuff. You helped each other out. That was before the internet was what it is today. So, we've raised a whole generation of people who don't understand that concept. And Classic kind of brought that back. There's a set of rules here. When you drop down here, you can't go back, by the way. So that little lip right there. That set of rules that are out there are just something that you live by in game. It's just a game. It's a bunch of pixels. I'm hitting a keyboard and dots are moving. I understand that. But I am interacting with human beings. So I think here I cut it. Cut it. We're done. I ran back to Westfall and I handed in. And I ended this video the same way. I hit level 20 when I handed in. So again, it's the Westfall area, and then there's one there. And then Iron Forge has the dwarf and the gnome that are in the dwarven town area. Mage training. I'm not going to waste my money on arcane missiles. They're a waste. Blink is the greatest thing in the world. Every mage loves it. You need polymorph rank 2 because stuff will start resisting. Water. Evoc is great. When you're like in that dungeon, I could have popped Evoc and it give me my mana back and give me a good chunk of my mana back. Don't need Fire Ward. It's a fire shield. I'm not worried about that. I know this is stuff that would help me. I have Dampen Magic, so I'll just do that. I'm grabbing all the frost stuff. Don't waste your money yet. You don't need to waste your money because remember, you're gonna start. Oh, I didn't buy portals. I need to get my iron. I need to go back and buy my Ironforge portal, and I think that's expensive. So you can see all the stuff that drops in Deadmines. You're gonna find tons of it. It's just gonna be in there, because everybody's running Deadmines and everybody's getting the gear, and so that's all that right there. So that was Deadmines. We farmed forever to get to that point. We wanted to get to level 17, 18 to be able to run it, and we grabbed all the dungeons. Thank you for joining me on this one. I hope we can do more, and I hope these videos can get better. I want to make a better quality video for you. But until then, I'll see you after.